Okay, so the battery was flat on the GoPro, so quick update on where we are. Finished wiring up the chines. I ran out of wire, but I managed to find a joiner outside who had some spare wire, and it was twin and earth, so the earth was solid copper wire, and he gave me about 1.5 meters, and that proved to be just enough. So I finished wiring all the chines, and I then I got the boat to its cradles, got the cradles spaced correctly, they're the correct distance apart, so that the boat is sitting at the right height, it's from stem to stern, so that it's kind of level as it will be in the water. I then spent about 1.5 hours trying to get the bulkhead in position. That was really difficult because the boat isn't at the right angles yet, and the bulkhead forces it to the right angles, but of course you need someone pushing down in the middle. So by myself it was quite difficult, and one of the measurements wasn't exactly right, so I measured from the bow back to both forward edge of the bulkhead to make sure it was symmetrical, and it is now. So one of the sides had moved by about 4 mils, so somehow, well, I might have measured it wrong. Anyway, I got the bulkhead clamped into position, and I then I marked up where its position was on the inside, and I drilled 2 small holes, 3mm holes, just outside of the centre line, and then I went below and drilled back up through those into the bulkhead and put 2 40mm screws up into the bulkhead, so that's kind of held nicely in position now, from underneath the boat. So then I tightened up the keel line, tightened all the wires on the keel, pulled the bow in as well, and then I went for some lunch. And after lunch, of course, disaster has struck. I picked up the forward bulkhead, and I was trying to figure out how to cut it to fit better, so I was kind of wiggling it around and pushing it down and trying to find which edges, and trying to get it onto the marked lines on the inside of the hull, and then suddenly bang, and the port side bottom, the front part just behind the fiberglass, has cracked with the pressure, and it's cracked almost all the way through. So that is a huge blow. That is a huge blow. So, the protective pad that was on there for getting the boat into its final shape had came off during that process, but I figured we were finished. I guess in hindsight I should have put it back on, because that possibly would have protected that area of stress. That's exactly what it would have done. So that would have prevented this from happening. And in fact it's cracked right on the screw line, so the actual screwing the screw through the gap between the port side bottom and the port side, the act of putting a screw through there possibly has caused a little nick in the wood, and it's from that nick where the crack has started. So what I've done is I've just sprayed water all over that piece of the bottom in order to try and give it some pliability, and I've put 4 or 5 support pads on that now, just to try and give it that shape back, and perhaps in a couple of weeks it will be happy to stay in that new position, and it'll be easy to repair. So in the meantime I've got to figure out how to repair that, so that's not going to happen today. That's going to be, the worst case scenario is take the boat apart, cut the glass at the front, and throw away this whole bottom panel from the port side and make a new one. So I'm going to need a new piece of fiberglass, a new piece of plywood, 8x4, and then start again on the bottom. So that is the long way around. and the shortcut is to try to bend that panel back into position, and while somehow holding it in position, get some fiberglass on it, and hope that that does the job, because that is a very, tight twist at the front there. Anyway, enough talking, I'll show you what I mean. So this is the boat looking from the inside, and I think I'll put the light on just so you can get a better visual. So you can see where I've wet out the boat, and you can see the 4 or 5 pads. So this is the pad on the starboard side that had come off, but the pad on the outside was still in place. On the port side, the pad on the inside came off, and then the pad on the outside came off. Model of the story, I think, is use bigger screws, longer screws. So there is the crack as it's now formed, and you can see the hull is a bend there. Well, that's where the crack is on the outside. So the crack comes up to about there, from there to there, and this bit there's still some ply. But if you look at the outside, you can see that the crack goes all the way down to the keel. So the crack is all the way to there, the ply there and ply there, and it's all the way up. So it's the whole of this outside bottom piece is cracked all the way through. And then the glass tape has done a brilliant job of holding it, but it only came to there, of course, and it's just behind there where it's gone. And you can perhaps just see a little bit of round there where the screw went through. And I just put the screw through there to actually hold it, to stop the ply from ripping. And I suspect it's the hole that started the crack off. But that just went with a big, huge bang. Big, huge bang. And it's gutting, but there we go. But apart from that, it was all looking really good. It was all looking really good. The boat is sitting on her cradles, not quite pushed down on the outside there. All the chines are wired up. The keel's all wired up. All the scarfing looks good, and it's just that thing. And I put the pads on and I wet out the thing. I thought I'd done everything I could. And, well, actually, it's probably lots of contributory factors, because the sun was out and had been out for probably an hour and was actually shining quite strongly on this part. So potentially the sun was helping to dry it out. And also, because of the experienced sanding yesterday, I wanted to leave this room really warm overnight, so I turned the radiators up quite high. And when I came in this morning, this room was quite warm. So maybe that's dried out the wood. Maybe I should have put more towels on. Anyway, it is what it is. And there it is in all its glory. And how are we going to deal with that? How are we going to fix that? That is the question. Any comments or suggestions, welcome. Okay, well, that's me done. This project is not coming to an end. It's just going into a pause mode while I think about what to do about this. It was going to go into a pause mode anyway for a week or so, because I'm going back to work on Monday. I'm away this weekend, but now it's going to be in pause mode until I come up with a solution to this problem. So any comments and suggestions are welcome.